around?
A lot of fun. I mean, this is every kid's dream. Every young player wants to be in the NBA. So once you're here, it kind of, the longer you get into it, the more you kind of come around to it that, you're living your dream. But it was everything I expected. It was busy, a lot of travel, a lot of late nights, hotels. The 82-game schedule, I think, we managed well. I mean, me personally, I've never played anything close to that many games, but I think the medical team did a great job of kind of managing my body throughout it and getting through the season.
And you were part of a team that had it seemed like they were having a lot of fun, a lot of comebacks that show a lot of resilience, competitiveness. Just what was it like being part of this group this year in particular?
Yeah, really fun team. I mean, obviously a really young group. Didn't probably win as many games as we would have wanted to, but whether we won, lost, or whatever the result was, the environment was always a fun, positive one to be involved in, and I think that's the most important thing. Is with such a young group, you can't get too high on wins and too low on losses. You kind of stay in that middle ground, and I think our group did a great job of that.
Josh, how is your hip feeling, and do you perceive that to be something that you're going to be dealing with long term, or is it something you just had to get over for this season?
No, it feels good. It was just a little hiccup, but the medical team, we did a great job of kind of navigating through that. And obviously, I wanted to come back this season, but when it was time to ramp up, there just wasn't that much left in the season, so we made a choice to just shut it down from where it was. But they did a great job with me, feeling healthy, so ready to ramp it back up this offseason and have a good summer.
How tough was it for you sitting out for much of the last 2 months and just having to watch from the sidelines?
Yeah, it obviously sucks because no one wants to be injured. You want to be out there playing, helping your teammates win games. But staying healthy this point in my career is the most important thing, and we made the right decision. But yeah, as I said, would have loved to have been out there with the guys. It always sucks when you have to sit on the sideline and not be suited up.
Anything surprised you about the season that you didn't expect? Good or bad?
Not really. I mean, nothing surprised me too much. Most of the stuff I expected happened. I guess I think the one thing that maybe surprised me a little bit was how much or how little NBA teams train. I think compared to last season where we were training 5 times a week, scrimmaging every day, stuff like that, whereas now it's like maybe one hard session a week. And I think it's just because of the 82-game season, the travel, stuff like that. But that was the one thing that surprised me a little bit.
And then did you, when you're looking back at this season for you just as a rookie, did you expect to get to the points where you did in your rookie career that a lot of people might not have projected you to be at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I was, coming in, I wasn't really sure what to expect, what my role in the team was going to be, how much I was going to play, whether it was the G League, off the bench, starting. And, as I got into the season, I got more comfortable within my role and started to figure it out a bit more. So I think, each week, each game throughout the season, I progressively picked up new things, got better, got more confidence. So, the individual milestones never really crossed my mind throughout the year. They just, occurred naturally. And I think I never really expected to be playing as much or having the impact that I was, but I guess this is what my role in the team was. So it was what I was asked to do, and whatever the coaches and stuff need me to do, that's what I'll do for the team.
And I mean, it seemed like you fit in from the start pretty well with the group, and throughout the season we've seen you guys interacting with each other and having fun. Just your thoughts on how close you guys are as a group and the chemistry you have off the court.
Yeah, real close group. I mean, being all young guys helps as well. It's a really tight-knit group. I think the off-season's a big part of that. Obviously, I wasn't here for last off-season, but especially this one, we spoke about it, just having little team stuff so we can all kind of stay connected. Obviously, having a lot of international guys will go their separate ways, but staying connected through the summer is going to be important for us next year, so we can hit the ground running, come training camp.
And then in this off-season, what are you particularly focusing on in your game specifically?
I think shooting's a big one for me. That's going to be, I think, a swing factor for me next season. So I'm going to, put a heavy emphasis on that. The weight room as well is going to be a strong point for me. So those 2 areas, I'm going to put a lot of, time and invest, a lot of time into that.
Spend a lot of time thinking about all rookie of the year, that kind of stuff.
Do I spend a lot of time
thinking about it? Yeah.
Oh, nah, not really. As I said, if it happens, it happens. But at the end of the day, I'm not worried. I'm worried about getting better each and every day, making this team better. So winning more games is more important to me than all the rookie teams or rookie of the year and stuff like that.
Did you talk to the other rookies, other teams during the season, just how their experiences were going? And I guess I'm kind of curious because it would seem like it's a really good class of rookies around the league, and you're one of them.
Yeah, it is a really strong class, obviously, but I had a fair bit. I didn't know a lot of them, but at Cleveland for All-Star weekends where I got to meet a fair few of them, playing on the same team as them, doing skills challenge, whatever it was. But I've got to know and became close with quite a few of the rookies. And it's good to talk to those guys because they can relate to what you're going through, whether it's struggling, thriving, whatever it is. Those guys are always good to talk to and lean on because, as I said, they're going through the same thing as I am.
Back to your shooting, do you have any specific plans as to are you going to change anything mechanically, or are you going to continue with the form that you have now? Is there any plans specifically with regards to that?
Yeah, there'll be me, Mike, and my trainer in California, Jordan. We'll all connect and get on the same page with that. But there'll be a few tweaks we make, nothing too major. I think a lot of it's just mental and staying confident in it, getting up a lot of reps. So, I'm going to spend a lot of time in the gym this summer, getting up shots. So, hopefully next season, as I said, that's a swing factor for me.
It's rare that a team gets contributions from 4 straight draft picks, but you guys did this season. And what do you think it was about the Thunder that put you guys in good positions to get contributions from each one?
Yeah, obviously, I think we all knew, getting drafted here that there was going to be opportunity from day one. Just with the team that we had, it was a young team, a lot of new guys around. So we understood the position we're in as a group, and all the rookies, I think, were confident in themselves coming in, and knew they had the ability to make an impact. And Coach Mark trusted all of us to come out and help the team win games. And I think he's a big reason for a lot of our successes. He has confidence in all of us. He lets us play freely. So I give a lot of credit to him for allowing us to play our natural games and not putting too much pressure on us to go out there and exceed any expectations from outside.
That was actually my next question. How has it been playing for Mark? It's been consensus has been he's great to play for. He's a team or player coach. What's your experience been?
Yeah, I loved him. I mean, I don't have a single bad word to say about him. He's been awesome for me from day one. He kind of laid out how he was as a coach. We spoke a lot. So he was really good with me. He was straight up with me, told me how it was, which is exactly what I like. So I think I speak for all the guys when I say we all love playing for him. He's a real player's coach. And I'm excited to continue to build the relationship with him and the rest of the guys in the group.
Does it give you more confidence as a player?
He does, 100%. I think that's the thing he spoke to me about from day one was that he will allow me to play through mistakes and stuff like that, and he did. It's like if I turn the ball over, I'm not nervous, not looking over my shoulder at Mark to drag me out the game. He understands my game, the way I play, and I think that's what allowed me to kind of thrive within this team.
Josh, what is your summer going to look like as far as working out here, going back home some? Just what are your plans?
Yeah, I'll go home in the next few days. I'll fly back to Australia. I'll work out there maybe 3 weeks and then come back here. I'll be in OKC. I'll be between OKC and Irvine, back and forth a little bit. Then obviously Vegas will all be there. So it's going to be a busy summer. I've been looking forward to it for a long time now. I know there's certain things I've really got to work on. So this is, I think summer is where players separate themselves. And I think, this is what I need to do and what the rest of our guys need to do in order, to make that jump individually, but, more importantly as a team.
Are you playing in summer league?
I don't know yet. I've got to speak with Mark and Sam about that, but we'll figure that out soon.
And then, obviously you guys are still at the beginning of a rebuild, sort of, but looking toward next year, what are your expectations from a team perspective?
I think to be better than this year. Whether that's make the playoffs or not, I think, I'd be lying if everyone wants to make the playoffs, but for our guys with such a young team, to be better than this year is what we need to, look to do. And I think the more we work together this summer, the better everyone gets. We can make that next jump. And as I said, whether it's a playoffs or not, as long as we're better than what we were this year, we're heading in that right direction.
The fit between you and Shai is pretty important to this team moving forward. And you guys had kind of an interesting year where you got to play together some, and then you each kind of individually got to have the team, as the primary guy. What did you learn through your stint on your own when Shai was out, and then whenever you were out and Shai kind of had the team? Is there anything that you learned through those two particular periods of time?
Yeah, I think it's evident to see that we both can, run a team by ourselves. But I think, as you said, it's going to be important for us to be able to do that together. And I think as the season got on, it got much better, game after game. And I think two natural ball handlers or two ball hands isn't a natural fit together. And these things take time. And I think if you look at all the great duos around the league, they wouldn't have started off, as one of the best in the league. They had to work and it took years of experience. And I think me and him are both, really unselfish players, want to make guys around us better. So I love Shai. He's a great guy, unselfish, makes players better. So the chemistry between us is only growing. I think the best game we had together was the one right after the All-Star break against Phoenix. And we had a meeting, me, Shai, and Mark. We kind of sat down, spoke about some things, and that next day we played Phoenix, and I think that was the best it felt out there. And then obviously I didn't play again for the rest of the season, but just knowing that from there things picked up the way it did, I think, it makes me excited for next season.
Was there anything specific from that meeting that you could share with us?
It was nothing too over the top. It was more just little things, what we can do to make each other better. We're both obviously better with the ball in our hands. It's not a secret, but finding ways to impact off the ball, whether that's cutting, screening, whatever it may be. So I think that Phoenix game, it was evident. We really started to figure it out, and I think going forward, it's only going to get better.
You're a unique player. There's been things written about you this season where they try to comp like all the rookies to a player in the past, and your comp was nobody. Like they couldn't figure one out. With that said, is there anybody that you look at, either from the past or even currently in the NBA, that you say, oh, like I want to take those things from this guy, and I want to play like this?
Before I was in the NBA, my favorite player was always Luka Doncic, and I can't really say that now, just being a competitor of his. But he's someone I love to watch. I studied a lot of his game, during the pre-draft and stuff like that. He's obviously, one of the best players in the world. So it's hard to, compare myself to him at this stage. But little parts of his game, Chris Paul, I watch a lot of. Those guys are playing a lot of pick and rolls, just the way they see the floor, stuff like that. But I wouldn't compare myself to anybody. I say, as you said, I'm pretty unique in the way I play the game. So, but just taking little parts from other guys' games is going to be important for me.
Will you watch the playoffs?
Yeah, I'll be tuned in. Yeah.
And then, you came in with Tre Mann obviously the same year, and he's really progressed as the season went on. Just your thoughts watching him a little bit from the sideline, but also playing with him this year and just seeing where he started to where he is now.
Yeah, he's made a huge jump. From the start of the year, he was kind of in and out the rotation a little bit with the G League, but then the back half of the season, he was, he showed, what he's capable of doing. 30-point games, the way he creates for himself for other guys, his shot-making ability. He's a really special player, and I think he grew in confidence over the year. And as I said, it was really evident towards the back half of the year how good of a player he's going to be.
And this is your first offseason where you get to watch the draft as actually a player in the NBA, and how that's going to impact your team possibly. Are you going to be tuning into that at all?
Oh, yeah, I'll be tuned in. Yeah.
Is there anyone you have watched at all that you're curious about, or maybe intrigued that if it could possibly happen, what it would be like to play with them?
Yeah, there's a few guys. Obviously, the top five are obviously pretty locked in. Everyone knows who they're going to be, but there's a few in that category I'd love to play with. But whoever we get, we'll integrate them into the team, and I'm ready to move forward.
Give us a name.
I don't want to say anything in case but there's definitely a few guys.
Are you friends with Dyson Daniels?
Yeah, exactly. That'd be one I'd love to play with.
Do you pay attention to the draft lottery at all? Is that something that you anticipate?
Not really. I know a little bit about it, but not too much.
When you said you were working on your shot with Mike, is that Mike Wilks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he the assistant you work out with most?
Yeah.
What has he done to sort of help you, or what's it like working out with him?
He's great. Obviously, he's a guard in the NBA. He understands certain little things that I can work on to be better. As I said, it helps having someone that's been in my shoes as a guard in the league. And he's been great. I spend a lot of time with him, working on different things. So he's going to be a big part of my off season this summer, and moving forward. Me and Mike we got a great relationship. So it's only getting stronger, and the things we need to work on, I know I can always rely on Mike to get that done.
It's clear that the front office communicates with everybody what the plan is. No one seems to be in the dark or confused about any of this. But what's your take on the current plan for the Thunder and the rebuilding process?
Yeah, that's right. I've got a good relationship with Sam and Mark. We speak a lot, and I guess, as you said, they're pretty open with it all. There's no secrets within our organization, but I think the direction we're headed in is really positive. The guys, the front office, the coaches, we're all kind of in that same mindset of where we're headed as a team, and we understand where we're at now. It's a young group, but I think everyone wants to win, and I think the sooner that can start, the better, I guess. And we're all within that same realm and heading in that same direction.
Does that give you a sigh of relief for the future? Like, we're not winning like as much as we want now, but I see the direction, and they're open with the direction, so it's not as bad as it could be. Is it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess coming into the year, I was aware of the situation the team was in, just being so young and the position they were in. But I wanted to come in and impact winning, and I think next year, hopefully, we could win more games than we did this year. Then the next year, win more games than that year, and so on. So as long as we keep building each year and each year as a team, individually, as I said in the summer, the better we can get individually, and then better we can get collectively, it's going to help us, moving forward.
How can Shai help you become the best player you can be?
That's a great question. I mean, Shai is, as I said, we're both better with the ball in our hands, but I think a lot of the time, when I'm handling the ball, it's to get Shai the ball back. Whether I'm running the one or the two, well, let's say, for instance, I'm running the one, I'm going to run something for Shai so he can get the ball, because that's the guy whose hands we want the ball in. He's so dangerous with it. He draws so much attention. And he's so unselfish that if he does get that attention, he's going to hit shooters, hit big men under the ring. So a lot of the time, if I'm handling it, I'm trying to get him the ball back. But if not, it's being able to space. And I think being, working on my shooting is a big part of that, because when he does draw that crowd, being ready to knock down, catch and shoot threes or play off the bounce or whatever it is. So the more we can play off the ball and learn to play like that, the better it's going to be for us as a pair, but, more importantly for this team.
Do you have a preference of the type of big man that you play with? Like either a big that shoots it like Mike, or a big that rolls to the rim? Like, do you have a preference as a point guard?
Not really. It's good to have a mix of both, I think, because it means the defense has to play multiple coverages. If we've got, pick and pop guys like Mike, Roby, J-Rob, it stretches the defense out. But if it's someone like Fave who's on the ring a lot of the time, it's a different look. So I don't mind either one. It's good having bigs that can do both. Keeps the defense honest, but not really any preference. I like playing with all the bigs we've got.
We're spending a season here. What do you think of Oklahoma? Is it starting to feel like home at all?
It is. It did really quickly. I love it here. Love the people in the city. There's no traffic, so everywhere's quick to get around, which is the best part. But yeah, I love it here. Love it here.
Coming from Australia and having a full season, what have you learned the most about your game?
Well, I think it's not about my game. I think it'd be more the, having a short-term memory kind of mindset and having a next game mentality, whereas you're playing so many games, it's like you can't dwell on the past. It's the same. You can't dwell on one possession. You miss a shot, you turn it over, just, on to the next thing. And that's the biggest thing for me, because earlier in the season I had a bad game. I let it kind of steamroll over a little bit. But once I got out of that mindset and put the game in the past, it helped me going forward. So that was the big thing for me, just playing so many games, you can't get caught up on one of them.
Anybody else in the room? Go ahead, Brandon.
Oh, you said at the beginning of the season that you wanted to wear jersey number 6, but it wasn't available. It's available now. Like, you think they're?
I haven't even thought about it, but I'm happy with 3, so I might just stay there.
Okay. All right, we got a couple on the Zoom, Josh. We got Christos Saltis. Go ahead, Christos first.
Hey, Josh. Hope you're doing well. First of all, Lou Dort mentioned before, and Kenrich Williams as well mentioned before, that the goal for next season is the playoffs. How confident you are about next season, about that goal, and how excited you are fighting for wins, fighting for the playoffs with this team?
Yeah, I'm confident. We've got a great group. I'm confident in the guys we've got to make that happen. But as I said, we just want to be better from what we were this year going into next year. So the playoffs, obviously the goal for every team, but it's not the be-all, end-all. As long as we're progressing, headed in that right direction, then that's all we can really ask for.
And then we got last one to Travis Singleton. Go ahead, Travis.
Hey Josh, who's somebody that you went to for advice or wisdom during the highs and the lows of your rookie season? Like, who's somebody that you really leaned on?
I think Mike Wilks was one of them. As a former player, he was always good to talk to, get advice from. He was great, in that regard. Earlier on in the season, just when I was struggling a little bit, he was great to lean on and talk to. My parents are always good sounding boards. I've got a good group of people around me that I can talk to, rant to, vent to. So it's good to have those people in your circle that will listen with no opinions and nothing like that. So had a lot of people to lean on this year, which was important for me because I needed it. Mentally, 82 games is draining. So having those people to talk to and get through those tough times with, it's really important.